Ayan had a good life, at least on the outside. He had supportive parents, a decent school, friends who cared. But inside, his mind was heavy. Not with facts or deadlines, but with noise. He would wake up each morning already tired. Thoughts would start flooding in before he even got out of bed. You're not enough. Don't mess this up. Everyone's ahead of you. He didn't know where these thoughts came from, but they felt real. They felt loud. At school, he smiled and played along, but deep down, he carried a weight no one could see. One day, during a school trip to the countryside, Ayan wandered off the trail and found himself near a small hut. An old man sat outside, pouring tea into a wooden cup. They exchanged a few words, and the man invited him to sit. "You look tired," the man said. Ayan smiled politely. "Just a bit." But the old man looked deeper. "Not your body, your mind." Ayan's smile faded. The man handed him a second cup of tea and said, "Come back tomorrow. I'll teach you how to quiet what doesn't belong." Ayan didn't know why, but he agreed. And so the next morning, the real lesson began. The next morning, Ayan returned to the hut. The old man was sweeping the front yard, humming softly. Without a word, he handed Ayan a small bowl filled with water and a pinch of black powder. "Stir it," he said. Ayan swirled the powder into the water. It turned murky and dark. "This," the man said, "is your mind right now, full of thoughts stirred up by fear, doubt, and memory." He let the bowl sit on the table. "Now wait." Ayan watched. After a while, the water began to clear. The powder settled at the bottom. The surface calmed. "Do you see?" the old man asked. The noise didn't leave. It just stopped moving. Ayan looked closer. "It's still there." "Yes," the man said. "But now, it's not in your way." He handed Ayan a blank page. "Write every thought in your head, all of them, even the ones you're afraid to say." Ayan hesitated, but did as he was told. The page filled quickly. Self-doubt, guilt, fear of failure, comparison, anger he didn't know he carried. When he finished, the man took the page, folded it once, and placed it under a stone. "Now sit with your breath," he said. "The thoughts are not gone, but they're no longer in your hands." Ayan closed his eyes, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't try to fix anything. He just let it rest. Over the next few days, Ayan returned to the hut each morning. The old man never repeated instructions. He only observed. Sometimes they would sit in silence. Sometimes Ayan would write. Sometimes he'd just watch the trees sway in the breeze without saying a word. The noise in his mind didn't vanish, but it softened. He began to notice the space between thoughts, the moments where nothing was wrong, where the pressure eased and his breath became enough. One day, the old man asked, "What do you usually do when a negative thought appears?" Ayan replied, "I fight it. I try to replace it. I panic." The man nodded slowly. "And does it work?" Ayan didn't answer. The man smiled. "Thoughts are like shadows. The more you chase them, the darker they get. He handed Ayan a feather and a glass of water. Stir the water. Now place the feather on top. Ayan followed. The feather floated, undisturbed. This is how the mind holds peace, the man said. Not by removing every dark thought, but by not letting it pull you under. That evening, Ayan sat under a tree and watched his thoughts pass through like clouds, some dark, some light. He didn't hold on to them. He let them move. And in doing so, he found stillness. By the end of the week, Ayan no longer rushed to fill the silence. He welcomed it. He stopped reaching for his phone the moment he woke up. He stopped analyzing every expression on someone's face. He stopped trying to measure his worth by what went wrong. One morning, the old man gave him a small mirror and said, "Look into this." "What do you see?" "Myself," Ayan said. "No," the man replied. "You see what you think of yourself. Keep looking." Ayan stared. At first he saw tiredness, doubt, uncertainty. But then he saw something else. Stillness, space, a quiet strength he hadn't noticed before. The man spoke gently. The thoughts that once filled you were never facts. They were habits, and habits can change. Ayan nodded, holding the mirror like a reminder. That day, instead of writing down his negative thoughts, he wrote down the moments he felt calm. One by one, small things, the sound of leaves, the way tea tasted when he slowed down, the light in the morning after rain. The list wasn't long, but it was enough. Each line was proof that peace wasn't something he had to find. It was something he had to return to. The next day, back at school, Ayan faced a moment that would have normally triggered a storm of negative thoughts. He forgot to prepare for a presentation. As his name was called, his heart raced. That old voice returned, "You'll mess this up. Everyone's watching. You're not ready." But instead of freezing, Ayan closed his eyes for just a second and breathed. He didn't fight the thoughts. He didn't argue with them. He simply let them pass, like ripples on still water. He walked to the front of the class, spoke simply, honestly, and without trying to impress. He didn't deliver a perfect presentation, but he didn't fall apart either. After class, a friend said, "You seemed calm up there." Ayan smiled. "I wasn't, but I didn't listen to the noise." That evening, he returned to the hut. The old man poured tea and said nothing for a while. Then quietly, he asked, "Did the thoughts return today?" "Yes," Ayan said, "but I didn't follow them." The man nodded. "That's all training is. Not never thinking a negative thought, just not letting it carry you away." Ayan didn't need more explanation, because for the first time, he understood. Peace wasn't the absence of thought. It was the freedom to choose which ones stayed. On his last morning at the hut, Ayan woke up before the sun. He sat outside, watching the sky shift from deep blue to soft orange. The old man sat beside him, sipping tea, silent as always. After a while, Ayan asked, "Will the noise ever come back?" The man looked at him and replied, "Yes, but so will your training." He placed a small stone in Ayan's hand. It was smooth, light, warm from the sun. "When your mind gets loud," the man said, "hold this. Not because it's magic, but because it reminds you, silence isn't outside, it's inside." Ayan closed his fingers around the stone and nodded. He didn't feel fixed. He didn't feel perfect, but he felt steady. As he walked away from the hut, down the narrow path toward the bus station, he noticed his thoughts rising again, some small, some sharp. But this time, he didn't chase them. He let them pass. He breathed. He walked. And in the space between thoughts, he found something better than control. He found clarity.